Hey there, friends. It's Nick Warren. Okay, so this is technique number 7. And I'm doing this one off the bat, actually, because today, as I'm recording it, it's Monday. And yesterday, something really weird happened. Our son left home. Well, we drove him up to Leeds, which is about 4 hours from where we are in the UK. We're near Winchester at the bottom, and Jack is now in Leeds, which is sort of almost halfway up the UK. And it's been a really weird weekend, actually, because this has been a long time coming. Jack is a brilliant, amazing, wonderful dancer, and you can obviously tell immediately where he got that from. And he's now going to one of the top contemporary dance schools in the country, in Europe, really. And, he's fought really hard, and we've spent 2 years getting him there. But now we've got to deal with the reality as parents of letting go of our little boy. He's not so little now. Because the other thing about this weekend is yesterday, the day we actually left him up there, was his birthday. He was 19 yesterday. And, one of the tricky things about parenting, I think, the thing that I've struggled hardest with is the tension between keeping them safe and making them strong. And I think that's a really hard thing to get sometimes. So, I can see in my head Jack as a kid, he's 6 or 7, and he's skateboarding down his granddad's drive on the new skateboard we bought him for his birthday. And it's dangerous. It's concrete drive, and he's going down the hill, and he's no good. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. And you get that as a parent. You get that kind of, be careful, be careful, be careful. Don't run. God, don't run. How many times did I hear that when I was a kid? Don't run in school. Don't run out of school. Just don't run. Because we want to keep them safe. We want to keep them safe, but there's a moment, and I can't tell you exactly where it is, but there's a moment in their lives where you realise that they're going to go. And then you switch from trying to keep them safe to trying to make them strong. And you worry, at least I worried in particular, that I should have been doing that from the start. I should have been challenging them more and making them more independent and all of those kind of things. And I think my concern over both my kids has been, that when they got out into the real world, which wasn't always kind, that they would really struggle because they grew up in a happy home. There's not, ironically, for a thriller writer, there's not been a lot of conflict in their lives. In our family life, we're happy. And anyway, we drove him up to London. We drove him up to Leeds on Saturday. The car is packed full of stuff. He's going to live in a house with 5 other people he's never met and doesn't know. Hasn't even been able to communicate with them, online. He just doesn't know who they are. And we get up to the place, we get the keys from the letting agent, and we drive over to this house. And we drive up and park outside. And he's got to go and take the keys and go and let himself in. I can't let him in. It's his life now, and my wife and I were both sat there feeling that pressure. And anyway, Jack went and he let himself in and got let in, and the minutes ticked by, and we were like both looking at each other. This is bittersweet. This moment. And he comes out and we take all of his stuff upstairs. He's on the first floor. Got a nice room, nice bright room on the first floor. We take all his stuff, and then we get in there and we think, okay, right, we'll help him sort it all out. And he says, thanks very much. I think I'd like to do that myself. And it's like, you know, and it feels like such a small thing, but to see your kid just get on with it, to see your child go out into the world and just do stuff is a simple and wonderful thing. I mean, I feel like parents should be able to put parenting on their CVs. You know, if you have managed to raise a polite, hard-working, you know, decent human being and added that to the human race, I think that should be something you should be able to put on a CV, because that is hard work. That is hard work. And I say that having been in our household, the one who's gone out to work, while my wife has done a lot of the parenting. And you know, some days, especially in the early days, I went out to work with a sense of relief that I was going to be dealing with adults, which is ironic because sometimes that wasn't really true. Anyway, my point is about this bittersweet moment, that technique number 7 for story hackers is about connecting deeply to themes. And we've not talked a lot about the audience in these videos, not specifically, but the kind of relationship between you, the teller, and the story and the audience has been woven in through all of these videos. And you know, in this case, part of the reason I told this story, apart from the fact that it happened like yesterday, and it is, you know, well, one of the things about telling stories is the moment in the story where there's a point of no return, and that's going to be one of the techniques. You know, or there's an inciting incident, a trigger that changes the world. And our world yesterday changed because for 19 years there's been 4 of us. 19 years ago Jack was born. My daughter was born 16 years ago. So for the last 16 years there's been 4 around the table, 4 playing games, you know, 4 in the car, you know, all those kind of things. And now we're feeling that lack of balance now. And if we're connecting themes, we're connecting to themes in our stories. You know, so whether you're talking about your product or your service or your personal brand, one of the ways in which you can make your stories more powerful is to connect with experiences and themes that we all have. Now, not all of you are parents, but if you are parents, and a lot of you are, then this will have resonated with you, because either you've got small kids, and if you have, give them an extra hug, because it won't last. And I know that's a cliche, and we all go through that moment where we have to let them go. You know, that, well, I hope for you that you go through that moment where you have to let them know. But you've either got young kids, or you will have gone through the thing that Wendy and I went through yesterday. Either way, it's sort of resonant, because it's one of those life moments. It's one of those things we all share. And in fact, even if you haven't got kids, you will probably by now have gone through the moment where you let your parents go. And yesterday what happened was that, you know, we took him out for lunch for his birthday yesterday, and you know, it's emotional. We dropped him back at his house. He gave us both a hug. He walked away, and at the corner, when he turned the corner around the road, He blew us a kiss and he was gone. And I'm really proud of the man that our son's become. Jack, I'm really proud of you. And I know that from a story point of view, those of you who have kids, you know, you'll understand some of what I'm feeling. Maybe all of what I'm feeling. And now we have got to find in our story, our family story, what this new world is like. You know, because suddenly there's a whole load of shopping we're not buying every week anymore. And there's a change in the kind of foods that the three of us, as opposed to the four of us, like to eat, and all those kind of things. You know, it is a new world. And if you can link your stories into common human themes, they will have more power. And of course, you know, the stages of life are one, but what are we all trying to find? We're all trying to find meaning. We're all trying to find success. However we do that, we're all afraid of things. You know, that we all share common traits and issues and opportunities. So however detailed your product or your service or your brand is, you should still be able to link it into things that we can all empathise with. So even if I don't need your whatever it is, your steam-powered nail clipper, I can still empathise with the story you tell about it. Because even if I don't need your steam-powered nail clippers, I might know someone who does. And if I share your story, you know, the link is still there. Anyway, that's a long roundabout way because I wanted to share about Jack and the bittersweet moment yesterday when we said goodbye. This is Nick Warren. This is This is Nick Warren. This is the 7th technique, Connect Themes.